Today we want to learn if toothpaste require Hechsher, do Listerine or mouthwash require Hechsher, do Listerine strips or the Pocketmist, the ones you breathe, require Hechsher, do tooth floss require Hechsher. Let's see what the halacha has to say about this. Well, first of all, we need to differentiate between swallowing something that's prohibited and putting it only on the mouth. The Torah only prohibits swallowing something that's not allowed to be swallowed. But putting it in the mouth itself is rabbinically prohibited. And therefore, over here, right away, we're talking about the Rabbanan. It's important to know that because we'll see that many leniencies fall into that. And that is what the poskim bring down in the beginning of Siman Tzadik Chet in the Shaarei Tshuva, the Tzemach Tzedek, the Noda B'Yehuda, and the Arzei says as well like that whenever you put something that tastes foul in the mouth, that will be permitted if you don't swallow it, although it's not kosher. And therefore, using toothpaste, although when you put it in the mouth, it feels good, but you can't eat it. It's not edible. It doesn't taste good. Therefore, such a thing would be permitted because A, it's only rabbinical prohibited to put something on the mouth, in the tongue, without swallowing it. And secondly, when it's foul tasting, it would be permitted to put it only in the mouth, on the tongue, without swallowing. This is how the Noda B'Yehuda brings down. This is how the Arzei explained halacha lemaaseh. Now, that is true about the toothpaste that has the glycerin that's not kosher. Glycerin is derived from an animal. It gives the sweet flavor to the toothpaste. They put it there in order that a person would feel comfortable putting it in the mouth and brushing his teeth. Otherwise, it would taste awful. So they put that to sweeten the taste of the toothpaste. But still, it's not edible. Because of that, many poskim permitted, like the Igrot Moshe of Moshe Feinstein brought down, Vot Ephraim, like of Yaakov Kaminetsky, brought down, Belsky Zatzal, Sefer Shulchan HaLevi, like, for instance, of Pinchas Scheinberg, that permitted, and many more. We mentioned the Arzei. There are those that didn't permit, like Belsky, for instance, because he says that just putting it in the mouth and it tastes good in the mouth itself, even without swallowing, that shouldn't be permitted, and many others held like this as well. But Lemaaseh, once one wants to be lenient with that, he has what to rely on. Now, let's see, once we spoke about the idea, let's see where does it apply. Does it apply to the Listerine strips you put on your tongue? No, because that melts on the tongue and you end up swallowing, so it needs to have a Hechsher. It used to be a Hechsher on it, but you need to know that using something that's not certified by a Hechsher, you can't use to swallow. Same thing would be by the Pocketmist, those Listerine that you use to just inhale. You sprinkle it into the mouth in order to give you a good taste in the mouth. But that also, you don't spit it out like you do to the toothpaste, but rather you leave it in the mouth, you swallow it. Such a thing would not be permitted. Same thing would be with vaping. When you vape with the e-cigarettes, what happens is not only smoke comes into the mouth, which you inhale and you take out, which is a question by itself, but also many times by inhaling, since it's a liquid, droplets stay in the mouth and you end up swallowing that. It stays on the tongue, you're swallowing that, and therefore such a thing would not be permitted. Also, one needs to know on the toothpaste topic that all we spoke to permit toothpaste is adult toothpaste. But when we're dealing with kids' toothpaste, since they make them very sweet to the point that kids can also swallow it, that's the way they make it, and they feel comfortable, they enjoy it, such a thing needs to have a Hechsher. So kids' toothpaste definitely needs a Hechsher. Adult toothpaste, one could be lenient, although if one wants to be machmir, to be yotzei all the poskim that are machmir, tavo alav habracha, should buy with a Hechsher. And also, the other thing we spoke about, the Listerine strips, the Pocketmist that you sprinkle into your mouth, that you spritz into your mouth, and the vaping from the e-cigarettes, also all these things must have a Hechsher.